Definitely. So I am a BIS major, and I wanted to look at something related to the BIS field, and well, a lot of what we talked about in class was mobile applications and just like what that looks like for people beyond an end user, which is just kind of like an everyday user. And so for me, what that entailed was looking at a specific aspect of mobile applications in general, and that was privacy. And that was really cool because the privacy aspect of mobile applications is something that not a lot of people generally think about. And to take a look at specifically what people's privacy attitudes, knowledge, and practices were when it came to utilizing mobile applications on their smartphone. Yeah, so it was really interesting. So I sent a survey out, which was great because a lot of people responded. Granted, a lot of like friends and family, but a lot of the results that I got back were not necessarily what I had expected. Some more so than others, but basically, I got a lot of feedback that many people are concerned about their privacy when it comes to their smartphone, and it's a device that they have on them all the time. But when it comes to the actual practice of being private on your smartphone or doing things that make you more private, keeping like your personal data secure, the practices to be safe really aren't there. So many people say that they're really attuned to being private on their smartphone. They want to be private, yet when they do the actual practice, they have the opportunity to be private. They're not. So that was really what my research focused on, kind of out beyond my survey itself and what I had looked into as far as the literature goes around the topic. And I found this idea of privacy paradox, which is stating the same thing outside of just mobile applications, but technology in general and the use of it, is that people have this attitude that they want to be private and secure, but they don't actually do it. And so what I found for mobile applications was that much of that is sometimes due to a lack of knowledge, but a lot of times it's just due to a lack of care. People are either just okay giving up that information and they don't really care if someone else is mining that from them, whereas other times people are completely oblivious and then they're told and they realize, oh shoot, like I want to do something about that. But it was interesting because I did two specific kind of case studies, and I looked at two different applications. One's Google Maps and one is Snapchat, and in both I found that after I told the people that were taking the survey what information those two applications were taking from them, more than a majority of people responded that they would continue to use the application in the same way. And it's really interesting because some of the stuff that specifically Snapchat is taking from you is some pretty personal information, like your contact list. It can have access to your photos. It has your phone number and your email and all that kind of stuff. So they can get to know a lot about you in a short amount of time, and it turned out that a lot of people were just okay with that. So it was really interesting. Not that aspect I definitely did not expect at all. So talking to older students that had done one previously, I got to that point where I was trying to decide what honors path I wanted to choose, whether it was university honors or departmental. And I had a lot of older students that had done the university track, so they'd taken colloquia classes and they'd loved it. But then the few that I talked to that had done departmental honors, where they had done research and whatnot, were just telling me what the benefits they saw of it. And a lot of that was being able to really throw yourself into something, push yourself. It's your senior year, and things can kind of slow down. And I knew that I wanted to continue to do something that was going to challenge me, and that I was going to be able to work with a professor closely on and whatnot. So that's how it all started. And then once I actually got into the research and into my topic, it was interesting enough that it kept me going, throughout the 1.5 year long process that I took to write the papers. Definitely being able to work closely with a professor. That was really cool, just because I got to work with somebody who, has a PhD, and they're very, intelligent, obviously, but she was really passionate about her field, and this field of study kind of related to what she had done in the past. And so that kind of showed me just how much passion she had for, one, working with a student, but two, for like the field that she's actually in. So that was really cool to be able to see that and work alongside my professor with the research paper, because I would not have been able to do it without someone like her helping me along the way. So I'm actually working right now to try to submit it to a journal, which is really cool. I don't necessarily know what the future has, but from the implications of my research, there's always there's always more that could be done. I won't necessarily be going into more schooling after I graduate, but if I ever did, this would definitely be an area that I'd be interested in looking into more.
Awesome.
Definitely having to synthesize all of the information that is out there. I don't think I fully realized it when I started the process, was just that there are so many smart people out there that write so many papers just about the most, minute and seemingly random topics. But when I got into my research, a lot of them were very pertinent to what I was studying as well. And so just having to go through and read all those papers and try to find out what the key points were and how they could relate to my topic was definitely difficult, but also really cool because I got to see, so many other research papers as well. The other step was realizing that there is so much more that I could possibly learn about this topic, and a lot of the papers just kind of went right over my head immediately. But no, it was really cool just to know that there were so many other passionate people out there that had done so much research in these fields that writing an undergraduate thesis then became a lot easier, knowing that one, I had that knowledge base out there, but two, that I didn't have to go that deep as well. So I think the big thing for me was being able to focus on something that is a long-term project. Like I said, I spent 1.5 years on it basically, and not having a class that I was coming to every week, and it was a teacher reminding me hey, you got to keep writing and whatnot. While I did have those resources out there, there wasn't that constant reminder that I had to work on it. And so for me, the challenge was making sure that I was staying on top of myself and that I could actually go through the steps that I needed to go through to move the paper along, because it is very much so a process that you have to put the work into. So that was definitely a hard part, but again, a really good learning experience, because I got a lot out of being able to be focused on something and determined to finish it all the way through. Yeah, I would say if it's at all interesting, do it. It's a really cool process, and definitely not something that you have the opportunity to do a lot of times as an undergrad. So if you have the opportunity to work closely with a professor to pursue an area that you're passionate about, I would say absolutely take the chance and do it.